I think we are live now on LinkedIn and YouTube. Hi everyone, this is Aditya, uh, and with me I have Dr. Amit and our guest for today, Isaac. Let's get started. If you can let us know that you can hear us loud and clear, you can see us fine. That would be very helpful. Please comment. In the meantime, we'll also check connections on our end. So I'll check first on LinkedIn. Okay, so let me double check.
On YouTube, everything is fine.
YouTube, we are live, and we are also live on LinkedIn, I guess. Just 1 second. Okay, we are live on LinkedIn as well. Perfect, perfect. And we have audience joining in here. Guys, if you can let us know quickly in the chat box that you can hear us loud and clear, that would be very helpful. In the meantime, let's get started with the brief introduction. Let's start with our current location. I'm currently based out of Miami, Florida. Isaac, where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Nice, awesome.
Uh,
And what about you, Mr.?
so I am located right now in downtown Toronto in Canada.
Okay. So here I've added
Okay.
my location. Let's see where people are dialing in
I,
from.
I guess the first comment which I see is Isaac is a goat, and I follow him on LinkedIn, and always for his career advice and compensation tips.
Joey Hernandez Ramos is your biggest fan, I guess.
I
Which I
guess
Joey,
Isaac, you have a good
he's a good
following
friend of
coming in.
mine. Good friend of mine. Great colleague. But thank you so much, Joey, out there.
Okay.
And guys, if you can also reshare, repost this event in the meantime, that would be very helpful. We want maximum participation, people to participate in this live project so that we can have great competition at the end. So please repost, reshare, let us know in the chat box. Uh, I can see we are already about 130 people live on LinkedIn itself. Let's allow others to join as well. So we'll take a few more minutes for to allow others to join.
Okay. So I can see people joining in from India, people joining in from Windsor, Ontario, people joining in from Toronto, people from Ireland. Hi, Prajul. Hi, how are you? Um,
Is Owen Ontario?
yeah, Ontario is in. Owen is Ontario, Canada. So they're
Nice.
joining in from Canada. People from Chicago. Uh, okay, so I'll just. So guys, if you are live here, if you can repost this event on your on your page so that more people can be aware about this is a free project. We do not charge anything for this, and this is anybody from any part of the world can do it. So there is no problem at all.
And guys, if you can also let us know what job role you're targeting, right? That would be very helpful. So let us know in the chat box what job role you're targeting, be it data analyst, data scientist, software developer, or any other job role. Okay.
I can see people data analyst, data two. Do we get the data too? Yes, Yashwardhan, you get the data as well on our project, so don't worry about that. Everything will be provided from our side, the platform also. So you are not supposed to go anywhere. You need to code on the same platform. Okay.
I
Okay.
actually really like the platform too. I went through the project, and maybe I went through the whole project, and I really like the platform. I know that we're doing SQL today, but there's Python in here, and I like Python a lot. And so, honestly, between Python and SQL and the stuff that I got to see, I'm a fan. I'm a fan
Thank
of.
you. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. Uh, So Prajwal says data scientist. Cupertino. Priti says she's in Cupertino in Canada. In Canada, I guess.
No, Cupertino is in San
Mm,
Francisco
in
Bay,
San Francisco. Okay, okay.
pretty close to my home.
Yeah, okay, she's written CA, so I thought that California. Okay. Healthcare analyst, Lakshmi says. Okay, so
Amit sir, I would also like to understand what crowd do we have? Is it more like the recent graduates that we have right now, or probably more experienced people? So, guys, if you are a recent graduate or probably currently studying in a school, please let us know in the chat box. That also helps us understand and create more relevant projects in the future. So you can write recent graduate or like an experienced person.
I can see people joining in from Dallas. People joining in for healthcare analyst. I recently joined as a business analyst. Okay, so kindly let us know, guys. Are you a recent graduate? So Yukti says she is a recent graduate. So Yukti, from which university and what program you have done? If you can let us know also that. I can see Prajwal also saying that recent graduate. Tatiana says she is a student right now. So what are you studying, Tatiana, right now? You can let us know that also. And Prema is graduating in May. So Prema, what education, what program you are doing, and from like which university? It will be always, but it is always nice to know people, right? We when we come live, we good to see so many people from different parts of the world. So
Prerna, I see you're studying at NJIT, and we have interacted with a lot of people from NJIT, especially the MIS program that you have. Seems like and or the Master of Computer Science. Okay, you're also from Master in Computer Science. Okay, so good to see you, Prerna. I can see some experienced people as well with about 2.5 to 3 years of work experience. Okay.
students, okay, Jen says I am a student of Arizona State studying business data analytics and extensive operations and experience. Okay.
Jen, I'm not sure if you're able to attend our previous project, but we had a guest mentor. Her name is Usha, and Usha was head of IT and data science department at Arizona State University for about 5 years. And one of her most remarkable achievement was that she ensured 100% placement during her 5 years of tenure at Arizona State University. And we are working with her to create multiple new projects, one specifically on responsible AI. So I would highly recommend you to stay in touch and get involved in projects that Usha is developing with us.
Tatiana is studying data analytics for business from St. Clair University, Ontario, I guess. What is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Restarting career, Preeti says. So, Preeti, if you are struggling in this restarting career, you can always attend our info session on internship, I guess. That would be very helpful for you. And we have one also today that is at 1 p.m. EST.
Yep.
Okay, I am here because I am pivoting from US research to the world of data. As a recruiter asks for portfolios, I want to be prepared. That's a good idea, I guess. And most of the employers they do look into your portfolio these days. I guess it's more become like a personal branding now. You do your projects because you want to build your own portfolio, your own brand. I've seen personal websites of people where every project is listed and everything.
Mhm.
Okay, 2022 August graduate, working as a full stack developer. Most of 23 is still working for opportunities business data. So he's working as a software engineer. Wanted to move into this. Uh,
So I think we have a pretty diverse crowd, a good mix of both entry level, and I see people, a lot of people who are also transitioning their career or like coming after a career break. It's always good to have that crowd as well. Their approach is certainly different. A lot of time I've seen that people believe that okay, they have a gap which is a taboo, they won't get the interview calls. But just want to give you a little bit confidence that I've personally seen like so many stories in the last 1 to 2 years. The times have changed. Recruiters and hiring managers, they care more about skills that you have rather than uh, what rather than things that you have on your resume, right? So as long as you might get, it might be get difficult to get like the first interview call, but after that it should not be that difficult. And given the social media that we have, uh, I think if you can create a good personal brand, and I think Isaac can uh, guide us really really well. I'll jump into those topics as we move on. But yeah, if you could create your good personal brand on LinkedIn, I think having a gap is not a big deal at all. Okay. Isaac, what are your thoughts on building a personal brand or visibility on LinkedIn and getting opportunities?
Um, I'm glad that you asked because it's there's two answers. On the one hand, I don't think that everyone should have to be a LinkedIn superstar, someone that's going above and beyond to be able to land just a day to day job. There's that piece. However, there is the reality of if you don't exist on the internet, then you might not exist at all until you get that one chance to put a resume into an ATS. So while I do have my principles that you shouldn't have to be on LinkedIn making a brand for yourself, I do think that at minimum, you need a solid portfolio. All the sections need to be filled out. You need your banner, you need your photo. I know some people don't want their photo out there, but you need a photo. The studies show that you get more views that way. You need a solid about section. You need some career highlights in there, and then each one of your experience points, they're gonna need to convey what the value of that role was and how that kind of fits into your story, and then maybe some quick accomplishments there too. Now, if you have things like publications, if you have things like referrals, those things should also go in there. All of those things are going to be great, and I think that that's a baseline, just to have a solid portfolio. If you want to get into things like branding, then you're talking about writing comments for people. You're talking about maybe making your own content and sharing the things that you're learning in your own career. I think then that you're getting into trying to send warm email contacts or warm LinkedIn contacts based on who you've messaged in the past, and then trying to build rapport with those professionals in your industry. That's when I start thinking about getting into branding, and then where you even going to house this content beyond just your LinkedIn timeline. It's kind of like grains of sand. You put something out in the world, but the next day it's washed away by the LinkedIn feed. So you kind of have to find a new place to house this stuff too, be it a Twitter, a LinkedIn, well, a Twitter, an Instagram, a TikTok, a Medium, a YouTube, wherever you want to house that stuff to be able to house your brand. Um, but there's a there's a threshold for the floor, and then I think that there's all this other stuff that comes after it that gets into creating a brand, creating and maintaining a brand. Um, but I do think that the floor is necessary because your resume, it goes hand in hand with your LinkedIn. If someone likes your LinkedIn, then maybe they'll ask you for a resume. Maybe they don't even need your resume. That has happened to me professionally before. If you have a solid resume and they want to keep clicking, then you want them to go to your LinkedIn and you want them to see the rest of what you've accomplished. Um, and so that's kind of how I'm thinking about branding and the thresholds for it and the limitations of it. And the fact that I hope not everybody has to in the course of looking for a career.
Hmm. No, that's very helpful, I think.
But I guess one point which is very insightful here, that your resume and LinkedIn should go hand in hand, and that's a very good point. That's a very very good point. I have seen people, uh, LinkedIn saying something else and their resume saying something else. So we have to be very sure about that. Both is in line with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can see people joining in from London in Ontario, and I can see people joining in. After completing the project, we copy the code to GitHub? No, or that we don't allow that because we don't want, because this is a competition. So we don't want that code to be posted on anywhere on the internet. The purpose here is that we should come and compete with other people and we learn in the process.
Rima says, are we going to do hands-on activity in this project? Yes, Rima, we are going to build the project right from scratch. And guys, I got a chance to visit LinkedIn profile of a few of you. I've sent a connect request to you guys as well. So I always love to stay in touch. So feel free to connect with me if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. Definitely, it's difficult to like connect with everyone, but Dr. Amit and I, we try to get in touch with at least 10 to 15 people on a weekly basis. So feel free to connect with me. And yes, let's get started now. I think we have the enough crowd. We have the quorum to get started. Let's start with a brief introduction. So thanks everyone for joining us in today's live project. Those who are joining us for the very first time, just to give you a quick overview, the reason we started these live projects because we identified that a lot of candidates, especially entry level. Give me 1 second. Let me put him on mute. Okay. So the reason we started these live projects because we identified that a lot of entry level candidates, people who are transitioning in career, or people who are coming after a career break, they struggle to get those first interview opportunities, crack those interview calls because they lack hands-on work experience, and our employers need job-ready talent. Given the tough job market for the last say 12 to 15 months, 16 months, it's better that if you have the real hands-on experience, you can showcase that, okay, if I join, I'll be able to provide an immediate value or like very soon, right? It's always good to be in this competitive environment. That's where we started this initiative to do these hands-on projects 4 months ago, and we used to get like 4, 5, 6 attendees, and now this attendance has gone to like 500, 600 people for this project itself. We have 700 registrations, and we started building more and more industry relevant projects, partner with people who are already working in your dream locations, right? And because different people solve different types of business problems, so it's always good to pick their brain and convert them into a real world project so that you can solve it, learn better, and build a better portfolio. That's the objective of this project. In this project, for the next 1 week, we are going to work together right from scratch on one project. Will provide you full support throughout this 1 week. Where are we going to provide you support? We are going to provide you support on our Discord channel. So you can see, sorry, this is the wrong one. Okay, so you can see over here a QR code. I'll also put it on my screen. This is our Discord community. Please join this Discord community if you have not joined it yet. In this Discord community, there's a channel called Live Project Doubts. During this next 1 week, you can ask any question related to this project, and we will be answering your doubts over there. We are not going to provide you direct answer of questions, right? Because that is not the objective. But wherever you will get stuck, our team members will jump in and will provide you some hints related to it. Plus, there is a strong community of almost 3,000 people over there in data science and software engineering domain. So most of the time, you'll post question, and you'll see that a lot of your friends will jump in and probably will solve your question. I would also request Isaac to take out time, join this community, whatever time that you can give, come in, pitch in your thoughts over there. We have a lot of working professionals already in there. Okay. So if you have not joined this Discord community, please do so. Okay. Let me also add a link of this Discord community in chat box for everyone so that it's easy for you to join. So here I've copied, added in the comment box of LinkedIn. So here you go. Okay. So I've added the link in the chat box for everyone. You can also scan the QR code. Okay. Our team usually stays there for almost 10 to 12 hours a day. So you can expect to get a response sometimes immediately or in the next 3 to 4 hours, right? But yeah, this is the Discord channel where we're going to take all questions related to this project. After 7 days, we are going to announce a winner. So before we jump into more details related to this particular project, let's do a brief introduction. And I would like to start with the introduction of our guest, Isaac. So Isaac, I've created an amazing slide for you. You'd love it. Let me share my screen. Okay. And I know it's not very creative, just very simple thing, but we would love to know about your journey to reach until this point.
Oh no, this is perfect. Short, sweet, and to the point is kind of the way that I think things should go. So this is perfect. Thank you. But nice to meet you all out there. My name is Isaac D. Tucker-Rasbury. It's a real pleasure to have you join us today. I've really enjoyed my time working with How Counselor, looking around the platform, and honestly would not be here unless I really did enjoy the platform and the people that I've worked with and talked to so far. So I think you're in good hands. But a little bit about my background. I'm an economics and Africana studies double major from Pomona College. That little icon off to the bottom right, that's where I started off and did 4 years there to get my BA. I am a left brain, right brain kind of thinker. I kind of want to understand what matters and why it matters, but I also want to understand how you got to that point where you think that something matters and in the scope to which that thing is important, and I kind of want to quantify that. And so I think of myself as a left brain, right brain kind of thinker. But in the process of working, I guess being a student, I have also gone off into a handful of different sectors because that right brain, left brain kind of thinking can be found in a handful of different places. I've worked in the financial services sector, in operations teams. I've worked on compensation teams. I've worked in private equity. And most recently, I have worked at Netflix and am now, as of I think 5 to 6 months now, working at BlueLabs. And so that's a little bit about some of the places that I've worked, some of the teams that I've been in. I moved into data analytics, though, in the last 3 years. My formal training in data analytics, honestly, there's a bit of it on the job. And then I went to the University of California, Berkeley for a data analytics certification. But aside from those two, the on-the-job experience and the one certificate from the University of California, Berkeley, a lot of it has been on-the-job training, things that I've learned on my own and tried to implement at work, and then grew that set of responsibilities slowly but surely over time. Now, the S in the middle, Slalom, the consulting company, that is where I earned my first full-time data analyst role. It's been about 2 years and change now since, and now I'm a senior data analyst. And so, but that movement in my career and from place to place, that is unconventional for some. Some people would prefer to stay at one company. So there's also some movement, and we can talk about that as well. But that's a little bit about me in a nutshell, and I'll turn it back to you, Aditya.
No, thank you so much, Isaac. That's very helpful. And we'll jump into your job search journey as well, and the way you moved from the one company to another. I think it will provide a lot of learning to our audience here. So, moving on to Dr. Amit, would you like to provide a quick overview of yourself?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Dr. Amit. I am head of business operations at High Counselor. I did my bachelor's into computer science. I did my MBA program in marketing and human resources. I did my PhD in marketing research, and I was also an alumni of Research Summer School at IMA. Apart from this, I started my career working with different companies like Wipro, Reliance, ICICI Bank back in my home country. I had more years, 10 years of teaching experience at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. I have a YouTube channel with my same name, and with has over 100K following over there also.
Okay.
What about you, Aditya?
About me, so I come from a very similar background to a lot of a lot of attendees out here. I did my engineering back in India in 2012. Then I came to US in 2015 for my master's degree at Duke University. Job search was not easy, so don't worry if you're also struggling for a job right now. I After 7 months of effort, interview with probably like 1,000 application interview with 5 companies, I got one job offer from PwC as a tech consultant in Chicago. That's where I started my career. Worked there for about a year. Moved to Deloitte Consulting in San Francisco. Worked there for about 3 years as a senior tech consultant, and that's where I also got the opportunity to visit a lot of universities, hire entry level candidates in software, data, and Salesforce domain. And that's where I got interest into career mentorship and career counseling domain. So 2020, I took a leap of faith, left my job from Deloitte to start High Counselor, and it's been 4 years, amazing 4 years that we got to help a lot of people. And the journey that just started with myself and my co-founder. We are a team of 40 plus full-time team members in US, Canada, and India. We are backed by a bunch of VCs and angel investors. We raised $2.1 million in pre-seed round from VCs in Silicon Valley. And then the best thing that has happened so far is that we have helped 600 plus candidates find their full-time job in the US so far. And the objective is to help many more thousand people in the future. So the reason we started High Counselor was because there are three major challenges that people face when they search for a job, especially those who are entry level or transitioning in their career. The first one is lack of hands-on work experience. That's why all of us are here right today to bridge that particular gap. Second reason that we notice that a lot of people lack interview opportunities. They do not know how to get interview calls. And third one is people are not prepared for interview. Even when they get interview calls, they're unable to relate between business problems that they get or this and the skills that they've learned. How to collaborate both of them at one place to solve business challenges. So to help people overcome these problems, we started High Counselor. And when we started High Counselor, our objective was not to uh, build a staffing or a consultancy company that help people just get the interview calls. Rather than we wanted to create a 360-degree accelerator in which we help people with upskilling, helping them gain work experience through internships and real world projects, fix their LinkedIn resume, and then also help them land interview calls through better job matching, speeding up their job application, and helping them with better networking. And this journey that started back in 2020, as I said, we are based out of Silicon Valley, headquartered in Plug and Play Tech Center in Sunnyvale. And we have helped these 600 candidates. They come from 120 different universities. They are career transitioners who wanted to become, say, QA to data analyst or data scientist, or people who returned after career break. Roles that we support, a lot of people ask that, hey, can you help me with electrical engineering or mechanical engineering job search? So right now we are only limited to 5 domains. One is software engineering. So any role related to front end, back end, full stack should be able to help you. Any role related to data science, like data analyst, data scientist, AI/ML, Salesforce consulting, sales related, as well as product management. So these are the 5 areas where we can help you find a job. We work on success-based payment. That means you need to apply at High Counselor. We will review your application. If we think that your application is a right fit for our program, we accept you. And once we accept you, there is no upfront payment. It's absolutely $0. You only pay once you land a job, that too in monthly installments. We have two different payment two packages. One is starter, another one is advanced. The difference between both of them is that basically in advance you get unlimited support one-on-one. You get our team that also help you with speeding up job applications manually. Get access to our email networking tool, get remote internship opportunities, layoff support, many more things. If you want to learn more about both of our options on how we can help you out, how to enroll, you can simply apply to our program and also join our info session. Both of them are available on our website. You can simply go to our website, highcounselor.com, and right over here, you'll get an option of apply to upcoming cohort. Simply click on it. And to apply to our program, you can simply fill out this application and we'll get back to you uh, whether we want to move ahead or not within 24 to 48 hours. We usually interview every single candidate before admitting into our program. If you want to learn more about this program, you can sign up for an info session over here. We do info session on every Tuesday and Thursday, I guess, at 4 p.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. Eastern time. So feel free to sign up for the info session. Okay. So that's all about us and about High Counselor. Let's move on to today's project. So I would hand it over to Isaac now. Isaac, if you could provide an overview of the project, what people are going to learn, right? What is expected from them, that would be great. And I can share my
Absolutely.
screen, or if you want, you can also do that.
I'd say share your screen, please.
Mhm.
And to describe the project. So we're looking at healthcare behavior in this one. That's the gist of it. I think that as far as SQL goes, the important things that you're going to need to know are your aggregation. You're going to need to understand that. You're going to need to understand subqueries. You may need to understand case statements. Um, Now, there's a bit of a conversation about whether or not you want to use subqueries or common table expressions. Um, that's a developer's choice. Some people would say that it's a matter of right and wrong. Some people that are purists would go even further and say that it's a comment about life and death. But it's just the code, and you are not your code. That's a lesson outside of the programming itself. Um, but those are some of the skills that I think that you're going to need to be able to work through these exercises. And those are the programming components themselves. Now, if we abstract that a layer outside of that, I think you're going to need to understand how to read the question and then how to turn that into requirements, how to turn that into the code itself. They might ask you something to the effect of, we want to see the most active, we want to see the most active people on the program or on the site um, for every day. Now, you've got every user and you've got every day. So you get into um, how do you want to isolate those two components within your query? You might be talking about one group uh, or a group by or some sort, um, and so you kind of want to be able to listen for one thing. Excuse me. You kind of want to be able to listen for what those requirements are going to be and how to translate that over into SQL. In the as a junior data analyst, excuse me, um, sometimes that will be given to you, and someone may flesh that all out and then ask you to put that together into the actual query. But they'll kind of list that a lot for you. The further that you want to go, or the further that you think that you are, the more ambiguous the problem will get. During my time in compensation, that was actually one of the components that we would measure a candidate by, and it was, can you see the problem for yourself? If it is an ambiguous ask, can you narrow the scope of it? Can you turn that into a task that you can go out and accomplish yourself? And then can you accomplish that task? Now, we're getting a little bit far away from the project at this point, but I think that those are the different ways that those are the different lessons that are here in this project. You've got your technical components, you've got your ability to turn written and or verbal lessons or instructions over into the technical components, and then you've got your ability to be able to navigate ambiguity, which this is very clearly defined project, over into being able to do more increasingly and ambiguous work that you will identify yourself and then go out and to accomplish. But I think that those are some of the lessons that are here while we're trying to tackle a portfolio project that covers healthcare analytics or fit tech kind of analytics. We're doing it for SQL, but the Python in here is also very solid. And I really enjoyed the Python component. I actually started it as well. I finished the SQL one myself just to see what you all would be up to, but I liked the Python one as well and gave that one a shot. So that's a little bit about the project and some of the stuff that I think that your students are going to learn along the way.
Mhm. So it's like, would you like to like share your screen and show people where they can go, probably on High Counselor Projects platform, find a project, and probably show them like a quick overview of the sandbox?
Absolutely. Well, so my sandbox actually includes. You're talking about the test one, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same for everyone. Your the sandbox that we provided, that also has a solution, I guess, right? But not everyone sandbox has a solution. But if you
Okay.
can just show them a journey where they can go on website, find a project to get started, go to sandbox, right, and get all the tasks, it will give a quick overview to a lot of people.
Okay. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the right one, the entire screen. I've got this one. And I think that we should be on the move. Okay. So,
And
how-
before the screen, if you can go to, I think it's, yeah, if you can go to highcounselor.com, because this is the sandbox screen, right? People need to know how they will reach here. So simply
mm,
go to, I can guide you. You can go to highcounselor.com.
hi, counselor.
I think you're using multiple screens because your screen is coming like very small.
Oh, mm,
Yeah. You need to
I
probably do control and plus.
control plus.
Yep, yep. More. One more. Absolutely perfect now. Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. So here we are at the High Counselor home screen. I liked the way that I found it the first go around. So you'll need to log in and identify that component. The way that I pulled up this project was I looked through the group. This is going to make it very easy for me, apparently. I think because I looked at it in here, and I clicked on Smart Health Analytics, and then it popped up the desired task, or the desired project. Now, if you're looking for a set of skills, um, then these are the other ones that I think are in here. I hadn't actually seen this difficulty level, but I think that that's actually very useful. Um, and then you'll want to go. You said that we were going to explore the sandbox, correct?
Exactly. People can click on go to sandbox to get started.
Lovely. Do I have one of these? I don't want to click the test one. Um,
You can. I mean, people won't. They won't see the code.
okay, lovely.
So
Okay,
basically, guys, you need to just create a free account to get started, right, on the project. So we provided one account, the already created account to Isaac, but you just need to create like a simple sign up account as you create on every platform.
okay. So this may have taken me to the back end.
Yep. So you're so here, guys, you come into the sandbox, and then if you're a first time user, you click on new from template. That's a small plus area, new from template, and then here you click choose template, and your virtual sandbox environment will be created for this particular project. And here you have Isaac, the very first one on your left, the first one. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, what system is doing now, it's creating a cloud environment for you to solve this project so that you do not have to perform a local setup on your system. And I said, when we started our journey on this real world projects, so the way we started was that everyone used to come live on LinkedIn and YouTube and like, okay, let's do it. And everyone used to do this on their local system. And then we encountered that people complain, I don't have this Python library installed. My system processor is not great, right? And we used to waste a lot of time in just figuring out the basic components. But that was an opportunity for us, and we figured out that okay, we can create a virtual cloud environment where people have to do nothing about basic setup. They can simply go in, start writing code and learning. So the system usually take about 1 to 1.5 minutes to create your virtual cloud environment.
Honestly, I can really appreciate the streamlined nature of that because every job I have ever worked in, the pre-work is setting up your machine and like setting up the environment every single time. Working in government now, it's a little bit longer than it has been in the past, but every company I've worked at, setting up your machine is a part of the job. It's the
Yep.
unspoken about part of the job, but it's definitely part of it.
Yep. Okay, and here we are in our virtual environment. I think Isaac, you've already worked in it, so you should be able to explain it.
Hmm. So I'm going to give this thing a second to load, but just a quick walkthrough. You've got your title up top. You've got what I think are going to be the most necessary components to be able to guide you through. Off to the left, um, you can collapse those if you want a bigger set of your screen. I'm going to get rid of that. And then you've got the components here. You've got your leaderboard that's going to be up top. You've got the database for the data itself. And then one, if I recall correctly, is where the Python version of this project lives. And then two is where the SQL version of this project lives. Each time that you click into one, it'll give you a set of instructions. And along with, I'm going to actually click this so that you can see it and know that I'm not just making that up. And what you're going to want to see, what you'll see is the description, and it'll ask you, honestly, what you need to go through. And so this is kind of what I was describing before. This one lists out very neatly. Please import the pandas and give it this alias, which is industry practice, actually. But if somebody says, hey, go set up your machine, go do this thing, set up an analytic, like analyze this thing, then they may assume that you know pandas and may not tell you. They may tell you the data is out there, but not tell you it's in CSV. But for the course of this project, those things have been neatly laid out for you so that you can you can get the practice of pulling those things. And from there, honestly, just go deeper and deeper into into those tasks. So then you'll start to utilize increasingly advanced libraries in the Python instance. I'm going to switch over to SQL since that's the one that we wanted to accomplish. And you will see a very similar thing where the task is laid out for you in something of a solid amount of detail. Now you've got your aggregate functions here, like that's an aggregate function. You've got your group by to give you the practice of using that. And then it just gets increasingly difficult as you go along. There are 11 components to this one. The data is provided, of course. And so I think that that's where I'll stop with the walkthrough. As long as this component of it is loading, there's nothing else really to add. There's nothing else that I think I can add. But I think that that's a walkthrough of some of the key components that your people will be seeing.
I guess so, guys. If you can just comment in the comment section that whether the process of how to start this project is clear or not. I guess Isaac has explained you beautifully. There is no problem at all. It's a simple process. Go to highcounselor.com, click on the project which we are doing right now. Go to project tab, click on the project which we are doing, sign in, and you can click on go to sandbox, add a plus sign, add the project, and you're good to start. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So guys, if you can just comment that is the process is clear, how to start this project.
I am trying to connect to the comment section now. There we go.
Yeah, good to go. Then Kelly says yes, it's clear to her. Okay, great.
I definitely say it was clear to me as well while this thing is loading. I did it.
Yeah, I think there's some maybe network issue or something. That's why otherwise it doesn't take so long for Jupyter Notebook to long. It usually like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's
and
because
Jen is asking a question. What was the Discord channel for support? So Discord channel is, you can see the QR code on Aditya's site. So you can join that channel where we provide all the support related to this project. Our team is there. So if you face any issue, you'll be able to do it.
I'm just trying to juggle to probably like enlarge my screen. But I can share
Okay.
guys to give you a
Now you can see the
yes.
layout.
We have pushed out everyone, but yeah, this is the QR code that you can scan and join Discord community. Okay. I'll also put the link in chat box for everyone. And let me share my screen, guys. I'll show you how this Discord channel or how do we help you there. So so Discord channel is not this. Okay. So when you join our Discord community, this is the sub channel that we have live project doubts. You go to live project doubts here, and people ask all sort of questions, as you can see over here, right? People ask questions, and then our team members jump into it. So we reply from our official channel. Kavi is also one of our team member. We have Manju is also one of our team member. Usha was our mentor in the previous uh, project that we started later last week. So our mentors also jump in. Manju is also our where is it? I just saw the comment. Yeah, Manjunath is also one of our team members. So we jump in, try to answer your question, right, by providing you a little bit of hints here and there, and that's how the entire community come in to support you. Okay, and you make friends over here as well, who are probably in this very similar journey to find a job. So I think it
And Rima has posted the link also, I guess. Thank you, Rima.
okay. I'll put it on
Uh,
screen for you.
Either we can do in either of the two, right? Python or SQL. I guess you need combination of both. You need to do in Python plus SQL, right? Isaac, if I'm right, the project
Yeah,
is meant to be do in Python and SQL.
the project is available in Python and SQL. And as professionally, I think that it's a solid idea for you to build both skill sets. There have been times where I've needed Python and nobody on my team knew Python, and we were working entirely in SQL. There have been times when no one coded in SQL and everyone needed to learn at the exact same time. And then even in Google Sheets now, there are plugins for SQL as well. And I think Excel is trying to add SQL to their interface as well. So I honestly think that you might need both. And honestly, it really just helps to keep the tool in your toolkit. It's better to be able to dust something off than to not have it ever in your tool case. Um, but that's a personal opinion. That said, the website has loaded, so I can show people what it looks like.
Mhm.
Okay. One of the users says when I'm trying to run test the code on the sandbox, it gives a pop up that upgrade now. I guess it will give you once or twice and not after that, because the platform works on a subscription model. That's why it shows up to you. But this project is completely free for you. Don't worry. In the for next 7 days, you are no, you have to complete this project. Till then, it is free, and it will be open as well.
Yes, Isaac. So now Jupyter Notebook is working for you.
Yes, yes, it is.
Mm.
So we wanted to walk through it, correct?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna talk through what we're seeing here, and I think honestly the key components are gonna be before you can do anything, you're gonna need to update some of the infrastructure components. That'll be pretty consistent with what you may experience on the job. You'll need to either build or refactor some set of code, and to be able to get that onto your local machine. So that's very consistent. They made it very easy here, but expect a more maybe something a bit more time intensive when you're in your full-time jobs. But that's that. Below that, you've got your formatting, which is gonna make it really easy for other people to be able to, which is gonna make it easy for you to be able to understand what's going on here. But as you go on in the future, as you format your own Jupyter notebooks, I would say that this is something that you may want to emulate. This level of detail here for each and every bullet may not be something that you need to emulate. Less is more, especially amongst coders sometimes. But you will want something that ultimately guides other people through your code in an intuitive way. That is going to be key because comments can have a very long lifespan. And so it's going to be key that other people can come in, walk through, get the right amount of detail, not too much, not too little, and be able to understand quickly what your code is trying to do. And then can be off to the races with either refactoring, pulling things apart, adding things to the mix, and being able to find their way around. And so that's a good way to be a good teammate or a good teammate to your future self by leaving those kinds of comments, formatting, and structure. But onto the queries itself. When you're doing this project, you're going to see, I'm going to click 2.1. 2.1 leads to 2 being the SQL version of this model, 1 being this component of the question. You're going to work through this question off to the left in the project instructions and and try to answer your query in here. Now, excuse me. Now, this is laid out very clearly, but if you start out with the first one, count the number of rows in the table, and you're trying to think through your question, I'd say read all of the instructions first. First and foremost, read all of it. You've been given the information. To ignore it would be doing yourself a disservice, making your own job a little harder. And you're going to want to give that a try in this interface. Off to the right. Continue on doing that, and the questions are going to get increasingly and increasingly harder and a little bit longer as you go about, as you go through them. Now, I think that's a good spot to stop in, because anything beyond that is kind of what I learned in doing the project myself. I didn't want to give you all a walkthrough or to talk through what I learned in the project or show you what I learned in the project, but I did want to go through it myself so that I could be able to honestly speak to that, as opposed to just reading the instructions and saying this is kind of what people are learning. But these are the things that I actually learned in going through the process myself. Yeah.
Perfect. Sandeep says my Jupyter notebook is currently loading. Sandeep, you might be facing probably the similar issue as Isaac was facing. So we'll look into it after this call. But usually it takes 5 to 10 seconds for Jupyter notebook to load. Okay, logged into Discord server looking for the name of specific channel. Jen, so the channel name is Live Project Doubts. That's where we are going to take all the question. Let me know if you were able to find it or not. Okay. And Sandeep, if the Jupyter notebook doesn't load for you, say probably in the next few minutes, also let us know so that we can work on this specific issue. Okay. Any other question, guys, related to this project, we'll be more than happy to answer. So feel free to put in the comments box and we'll take it from there. Okay. So in the okay, so Jen says got it. Okay, perfect, Jen. Thanks for confirming. Okay. So I think you have searched, you have found a lot of jobs in your career, right? And so what, and probably now you see a lot of entry level people also coming into like data related roles, data analyst. Out of these like thousands of applicants, right, how do you shortlist candidates, or what is something that really attract you while interviewing a candidate or while shortlisting a candidate for roles? What is your approach?
So first, to clarify, I'm not a hiring manager. I'm a senior data analyst. I have not hired for a full-time for-profit nonprofit company before. However, during my time at Bluebonnet Data as a part of the admissions committee, I do review candidates for the progressive politics, either nonprofits or down ballot U.S.-based Democrat Dems, so capital D Democrats, and review candidates for their tech staff. So that's one point of clarification. But in talking about how do I shortlist a candidate, how do I help candidates find roles, how have I helped candidates in the past? There's a few pieces to that. First and foremost, though, is that you really should lead with your passions. At least that's how I have found success. If I do not want to do the thing, if I am not inherently interested in the thing, if I don't have the willingness to be curious about the thing, it's very difficult to do more analytics. It's hard to want to find out what your top 5 is in one spot is or another. If you don't care about that subject, if you're like, who are the best 5 baseball players in history, but you don't care about baseball, that can you do the thing? Yes, you can. But would it be easier? Would you be more curious? Would you be able to notice something that stands out? If you had something of a more inherent interest in it or the implications of it, then yes, you would. So first and foremost, I tell people to start with is their own interests. Mind those and then explore using analytics and the tools, Python, SQL, get your hands on some data. Second to that is going to be identifying companies and job descriptions of interest. if you can find 10 companies that you are interested in and 10 job descriptions that get you excited, then you can build your resume around those. Now, this is going to be maybe a hot take, but I don't update my resume for each and every job description. I don't do it. It's a lot of work. And between interviews, finding the jobs themselves, touching up mistakes that I see here and there, updating my LinkedIn, and then trying to warm relationships to be able to get to even an informational interview. I like to take those 10 jobs descriptions and the 10 companies that I was interested in, hopefully in similar interest in similar industries, excuse me. And I try to hone my resume for that, because I'm not going to do an entire 180 and become a whole different person tomorrow. So in that case, I'm probably going to be aiming towards the same 90 degrees worth of things, the same 45 degrees, whatever it be, of skills, talents, projects. And anyone that says that they don't care where they work, they don't care the thing that they're trying to accomplish, one of two things has happened. You haven't reflected on it, or you're oversharing your hand with your recruiter. You don't want to do either one of those. But so that's the resume component. Now, when it comes down to shortlisting the resume that or getting someone on a short list, I honestly think of that as increasing the area of your opportunity. If you have job descriptions, if you have the companies, then what you can do is you can find recruiters, you can find other technical talent, you can find hiring managers at those companies and start to find out who are the chatty ones. The three of us here on this call, we're on this kind of thing. We're chatty people. But if you go out into a company, not everybody's going to be as active on LinkedIn. Find the people that are, or find the people that align with your experience. Find someone that may have commented on something in the last month. That's your person. You send them a message. Hey, we're both industry professionals. I saw that you commented on this industry thing. Would really love to stay in touch professionally. If they accept it and get back to you, great. If they accept it and say nothing, you send a follow-up message. This is your job search. You take it into your hands. If you see that a recruiter is posting jobs and it's not a job related to you, you can still ask that recruiter, how does this person work with your tech teams? Or if you're not the best person to speak to that, could you refer to me to someone that does? So each person at the company can serve as an in. If it's a hiring manager on that job and you're not fit for that job, you can still message that person and say, hey, I saw that this is the role that you're hiring for. It's not necessarily the exact one, but I do have technical skills in this world of things. Each one of these requires a careful crafting that kind of lines up with what you have the space for in that venue, especially for LinkedIn. But you're just kind of increasing your area of opportunity. But that's LinkedIn alone. I am of the mind, and especially because of my interest in politics. My interest in data is politics, economics, social concerns, and impact. I have to go off of LinkedIn to find some of the companies. And so I'm looking at Tech Jobs for Good, Progressive Data Jobs, arena.com, websites for candidates, websites for donation sites, and then the technical companies that support the tech infrastructure around politics or political campaigns and nonprofits. And so I would say refactor that literally for your own job search. If it's healthcare, go find the healthcare analytics websites. If it's venture capital, go find that. If it's police and criminal justice, you may want to go find that. But there are other sites aside from LinkedIn that you also want to be creating accounts on, and you want to be able to keep a pulse on those, join the newsletters so that you can have those opportunities come to you, and you can start to think about the direction you want your career to go into, and you can use those job descriptions in the newsletters as a part of your search that I mentioned earlier. So it starts to feed into each other. So you have this network of information as you're starting to talk to people and they say, oh, how did you even know that we were interested in this skill set? Well, I pay attention to this newsletter. I pay attention to these job descriptions. I pay attention to your competitors. And that way you're becoming an informed candidate, one that is consistent in your storytelling, one that pays attention and empathetically to the people on the other side of your networking. And the best time to make a friend is when you don't need one. And so if you are looking for a job right now, that's fine. But if you are not in the dead heat of your job search, now is the time to start building this infrastructure, your resume, your LinkedIn, your list of contacts, following them, responding to comments, so that when it comes down to your job search, posting, sharing, networking, you already have some of those warm relationships going. Um, but that's how I think about getting someone onto the short list. It's
Mhm.
it's about warming the network of your relationships up front and making sure that you have those information channels going so that when it's time to go, you already have your tight 10 degrees worth of a resume aimed at 10 companies. You know people at those places. They may even be able to refer you because you warmed those relationships up front. Um,
Yeah.
but that's a long answer to what should have been a short question.
No, I mean, so this definitely provides a lot of those minor details, right, or intricacies that are needed at the time of job search, right? And a few things that you mentioned. One specific thing that you mentioned, that your email should be crafted properly. And I was reading a LinkedIn post yesterday where somebody used Chat GPT to draft email for thousands of people, but definitely Chat GPT didn't pick all the details right and made some blunders in that email. So this guy posted a screenshot of the cold email that he received, where like 30% of the information was incorrect. So targeting that volume, right, and then going wrong with everyone, right, that's a bad approach. Rather than like target like 50, 70, 100 people probably in a month, but be very specific, right, and they will see your effort. And guys, let me know in the chat box, right, do you also are you also able to recognize the difference between a content that is written by a human or just by chat gpt, right? I can clearly see when I receive an email that if this is written by an when I write an email, if I write an email to you, Isaac, I'll be like, "Hey, Isaac, how are you? Okay, are you available for this call or this?" Anything like that, like very simple conversational language, right? But then ChatGPT or other online tool, they make it too formal, right?
Mm,
It's definitely good to use them, but don't lose your personal touch. Similarly, when you see content on LinkedIn, I've rarely seen a content getting viral or probably getting like 100,000 views if it is entirely written by ChatGPT, right? There is always a human component required over there. So,
hmm I
look,
have I have recently seen in my time with Bluebonnet Data as a part of their admissions committee a handful of candidates submit applications that we can tell they used AI for because they left the little prompt up top that says,
oh,
"Thank you for your yes, exactly,
oh,
exactly. Thank you so much for your question. Here's an example."
mm,
And that the candidate I'm thinking of was so incredibly suited to our needs that we still interviewed them. We still interviewed them. We did. I will admit that wholeheartedly. However, um, we are a progressive politics organization, and we have a high admittance rate and a high threshold, and accept on a rolling basis. At a for-profit company, um, with people that are not as forgiving, let's use that phrase, I could definitely see that being a point of out the door, just immediately. People only spend but so much time on an application anyway, so you're not trying to give them an additional reason to kick your resume to the curb. um, I could definitely see that happening during my time at Netflix. Getting into Netflix was the hardest application that I have ever done in my life, and I think a misstep like that would have gotten me rejected. I could easily see that happening. Yeah.
yeah, no, no, I totally agree. Utilize AI tools, but use them wisely. Use them wisely, and don't just go 100% with them, right?
Yes.
Maybe someday after a few years, but not at the moment.
Hmm.
Well, Isaac, thank you so much for your time. We are already over time. I want to be very respectful of your time and engagement. So I really appreciate you joining us. You took the time to go through the platform, complete this project by yourself. You actually coded it. I'll definitely connect with you separately to get your more detailed feedback on the platform and how we can further improve it. When you get time, please join Discord community, see what type of questions people ask. And guys, for everyone, please follow or connect with Isaac on LinkedIn. Let me share his LinkedIn profile here in the chat box. Reach out to him, bug him. When I was searching for my job, I used to like connect with every working professional that I could. And it's just not about connecting, but it's also about like making that meaningful relationship, right? uh, the way I got in touch with Isaac was through one of his LinkedIn content. That's where I came across his LinkedIn content, and then we got on a call with each other. So some of the content that you posted or reposted was very very helpful. So please follow him. You'll learn a lot from his journey. And yeah, Isaac, yeah, thank you so much for your time. We really really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, getting to meet some of your team, and navigating the platform. I honestly learned some stuff about subqueries in the midst of doing the project. So,
Okay.
I learned some stuff too. But thank you, and I'm going to get back to the day. Nice to meet you, everybody.
Thank you so much. See you. Bye. Okay, so that was our guest for today, Isaac. And guys, here's the Discord community link again. If you haven't joined, let me take rest of the questions right before we wrap up the call. So there's a question from LinkedIn user. I'm still getting the pop-up when I click on run test in the sandbox, as shown below. Please help test result. You have completed two. Excuse me. You've completed two free projects. Uh, You've completed two free projects with us. To continue working on this project, unlock many more, please upgrade. Okay, so guys, we provide this project platform where you can do two projects absolutely free of cost, right? We have about 130 plus projects. So two projects are absolutely free in your own vertical. More than two projects, you'll have to subscribe for the premium version. Most of the time when we do these live projects, candidates or people who join, they're doing this as a very first project. But if you want to do more, definitely you have to subscribe for the premium one. But if you're someone who is just joined doing your first or second project, then it will be absolutely free for you for the next 1 week. Okay. Right now, those who want to subscribe, they can get a 20% discount, and then we have a discount code for that as well. Let me look for that. I think that is save 20. Let me double check really quick. Yes. So let me put in the screen for everyone. So save 20 is the discount code if you want to sign up for the premium subscription. Let me show you guys one more very very important feature of this project platform that I'm sure you would love, and that would be very very beneficial for all of you. So I'll share my screen really quick. When you go to so here, so suppose you go on highcounselor.com, you go to projects, and here on the left hand side, you get an option called view your portfolio. Click on view your portfolio. And as you complete projects on our platform, you will create your portfolio of software engineering and data science projects over here, where you'll be able to showcase how many projects you have completed, and based on those projects, what skills you have already earned. You can share directly this portfolio page URL with the recruiters and hiring manager. You can share it on your LinkedIn profile, on your resume, and you can show all the projects that you have done. They'll be able to see the code that you have written. They'll also be able to see the certificate that you have earned on our platform. Okay, so make sure to utilize this option of your portfolio. And I would simply go to my LinkedIn profile. Suppose that's how you should do it. Simply go to your LinkedIn profile and click on this edit icon. And right over here, I think at the bottom, you get an option to add your portfolio. So let me see, edit custom button, not this one, because mine is a premium profile. So it is different, but let's see what option. I know there was an option, this add edit custom button. Yes, here you can add directly this URL like this, that this will be your personalized portfolio. You can simply save it, and then when recruiters and hiring managers, they will come to your LinkedIn profile, they will be able to see your portfolio button over here, where they'll say view my portfolio. They'll click and they'll directly land on your portfolio page, where they can see all the projects you have done. Okay, so make sure to utilize this particular option. Okay, let's take a few more questions before we wrap up. Can you share the LinkedIn ID? Yes, Ananya, that's a great reminder. Thank you for that. So let me share LinkedIn profile of Isaac, and here you go. I've posted it here in on YouTube, also posting here on LinkedIn for everyone. Oh, I think I shared my profile. My mistake. Sorry for that. Let me add it again here. So I'm adding it again. So here is Isaac's LinkedIn profile. Okay, finally it's shared. Finally it's shared with everyone. Okay, sharing it here again. Perfect. Another question. So, Ananya, please let me know in the chat box if you're able to get the Isaac profile, access it. If not, happy to reshare it again. But you can simply search by his name as well. Okay. I can still, yeah, I think my LinkedIn is refreshing at a slow rate. I'm not getting all the comments in the real time. Okay. Prajwal says, are there any openings in your organization? Prajwal, definitely we are hiring at High Counselor. At High Counselor, we are hiring for a B2B sales role. We are hiring for a growth manager as well as an HR manager role. So not anything in data analyst or data science role right now. We have a team of 4 data scientists at High Counselor and 1 data architect. Okay, but not right now, but in the future, if we hire, I'll certainly share it with everyone. Piyush says, I've written a code and it's working, but the task is not marked as completed. Piyush, if you could go to our Discord channel, okay, and post this screenshot over there, then our technical team would be able to help you better, right? So please do it over there, and we'll certainly make sure to look into the query, and we'll be more than happy to assist you there. And I see, Piyush, that you're studying masters in data science from University of Buffalo. By the way, one of my very dear friend also graduated from University of Buffalo. I've been there a few times as well. So yeah, more than happy to help in any way I can. And thanks for sending me a connect request. I just accepted it. Let's get in touch sometime. Okay. Let's take on next question. And and please, and Piyush, let me know that if you have access to our Discord channel, just want to make sure that you get the right support that is needed. Okay. What other questions, guys, do you have? Minik says, what should be the approach of getting the target list to send cold emails for application? So, Minik, your approach should be that identify your target job role, uh, and just search for like data analyst jobs near me or whatever job location that you're targeting. And when you find those job position, like list out those companies and identify 1 or 2 people working at that particular company uh, in a very similar role. Like if you're searching for a data analyst role, I would identify profile of senior data scientist, data architect, chief data scientist, chief data science officer, and I will reach out to those people for an informational call I would try to learn about what projects they're working on, what technologies that they work on, what is their advice for me to strengthen my profile, build that relationship, and then at the end, I would ask for a referral. And that's how you get access to great opportunities. Okay. Rishikesh says, thanks for sending connection request, Aditya. Looking for any help I can get. No, more than happy to connect Rishikesh. I can ask. My calendar might be a little bit tight right now, but between myself and Dr. Amit, we connect with 10 to 15 candidates on a weekly basis to learn more about their situation, help in any way I can. Uh, the minimum, at least, we can help you with is to align one of our resume review and LinkedIn review expert with you who will work with you for absolutely free of cost to fix your resume in LinkedIn. And it helps us understand the candidate's challenges and create better products for the entire market. Okay. So, more than happy to connect and help uh, in any way I can. Courtney says, is this being recorded? Can we re-watch it later? Absolutely, Courtney. So the entire session is being recorded. You can always come back on High Counselor's LinkedIn profile and watch the entire recording again. Similarly, you can also go to my YouTube channel, which is aditya.highcounselor, and you can watch this entire recording over there. Okay. Any other question, guys, related to this project or related to job search? I know job search is a little bit challenging. The market is a little bit, not little bit, but actually a bit tough right now. We all know that, right? So, more than happy to help in any way I can, share any advice or support. So, feel free to let me know your questions. Okay, somehow I'm unable to see all the latest comments on my LinkedIn profile. I can see it on my StreamYard, but not on my LinkedIn. Let me double check. Why is it so? In the meantime, guys, if you are probably facing any type of job search challenges or any specific situation, please let me know in the chat box. Uh, you never know. Sometimes a quick message may help you get some solution of your current situation. Okay, Sandeep says my notebook is still loading. I think Sandeep, there might be some technical issue. I will certainly inform our team and we'll get back to you on this. Let me send you a connect request so that when we resolve it, and we should be able to resolve it probably in the next few hours. So I will certainly notify you. Okay. And I see that you are a master's student at University of Massachusetts. Uh, yeah, it's in data science, and you're graduating in 2025. So you have a lot of time. Make sure to do the right projects, and let's stay in touch. Okay. So Sandeep, if you can also post this issue in our Discord community, our technical team will be able to pick it up really, really fast. Okay. Let's see what are the questions do we have. By the way, Sandeep, I just loaded my it on my system and it's working really fine. My Jupyter notebook started pretty quickly, so you can probably try after a few minutes, and we can look it there. Courtney, it seems like you have worked as a QA analyst for a very long time, as a test engineer at Verizon and then Ambit Energy, and now you're in this data related project. So I am assuming that you're transitioning in your career, uh, right? And I would love to know, Courtney, how did you learn about, how did you come to know about High Counselor platform? Okay. Any other question that I can help you with, guys? till when we need to complete this project. So, Bonani, this project will be open for another 1 week, which is 20th of March. So, you need to complete this project until 20th of March, and whoever stays on top of the leaderboard will be featured on Times Square. So, you have 1 week to finish this project, and after 7 days, we'll announce winner for this particular project. Courtney says, I saw something on LinkedIn and thought I would check it out. Okay, so LinkedIn is certainly very helpful. I was randomly talking to people who are working in different companies right now and here in the Bay Area. And I asked them that which tool did you use to find a job? And trust me, I 99% of the time I got this answer that either LinkedIn or Indeed. And most of the time it was LinkedIn. Okay, guys, if there are no more questions, we can wrap up. Feel free to send me a connect request. More than happy to connect with people who need any help with job search. Those I sent connect request, or those who have just sent connect request to me, I can see a lot of connect request. I'll be more than happy to connect with you, or at least have Dr. Amit connect with you so that he could provide you whatever help. Hi, Mainik. Just sent you a connect request as well. Seems like you are currently a student at Western University in Canada. Okay. And you have some past work experience as well. So would love to help you in your job search as you're graduating in September of 24. And I caught an eye on your profile because you graduated from Kalinga Institute of Technology. And my cousin sister, she graduated from Kalinga. So I know a lot of people who graduated from there and now working at great places. So certainly let's get in touch, Mainik. Okay, okay. Any other question? Anything else that guys that I can help you with? Anything related to this project? Feel free to let me know. If you need help with job search, definitely look for our uh, High Counselor program. Fill out the application. If you're a right fit, we'll certainly admit you in the program. Okay, okay, dokie. Let's see. So we are good to wrap up, guys. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And I look forward to connecting with so many new friends that I've made here today. If not at one time, then let's stay in touch on LinkedIn. And we are here to support each other. So yeah, let's continue building out the community. And I'm excited to see who uh, lands on Times Square through this project. Thanks, everyone. Your wonderful week ahead. Bye.